All right, for more on this and other hot topics, let's bring in Fox News contributor Ellen Ratner and former spokesman for Congressman Darrell Issa, Kurt Bardella. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shane. All right, let's start, Ellen, on this issue of what was given in exchange. Some say it's the way we do business. We're negotiating to free an American soldier. Others say it does set a dangerous new precedent. What's your take?
It's not a new precedent at all. Look at Gary Powers, U-2 spy plane pilot, shot out over Russia in 1960, released in 62. It was begun under Eisenhower, ended under Kennedy. And, I mean, we weren't about to send him home, or they weren't about to send him home on the Russians on an Aeroflot first-class plane. I mean, we had to negotiate, and we had to give up somebody that we wanted in prison in order to get Gary Powers back. This has been going on. It's the way business is done.
Kurt, is this different? Is it the same?
This is very different. I think, first of all, instead of a one-for-one exchange, you get a five-for-one exchange. And the message that the President Obama and the Obama administration just put out there was that you can take American lives, you can take American hostages, and we'll give you 5 terrorists to go do whatever they want to do after they get out. And these are 5 high-level operatives who are very close to Osama bin Laden, who oversaw mass killings of Muslim Shiites. These are very dangerous people, and what's going to happen when they get back out there and they rejoin their terrorist networks and continue to plot to kill American lives?
Well, first of all, Qatar does not necessarily want these guys free. They have certain strictures that they're control. They're not the most high-level detainees by any stretch of the imagination, and that's why the United States chose these 5 people to let go.
My understanding is the Taliban asked for these 5 when they started this discussion a couple of years ago.
Well, they put everybody on the table.
They wanted these guys.
By the Taliban. One of them was a chief of security. Another one was close to Osama bin Laden. These are high-level operatives who have spent their entire lives dedicated to killing innocent people. Does anyone really think they're going to stop now, that they're going to go be model citizens?
No, they're not going to be model citizens, but we are going to hopefully be able to control what they do, listen in, of which we're very good at any conversations, and the government, is again, of Qatar, does not want these people just out in the street. They have to very strict regulations as to how they're going to be handled. I think this is the only thing we could have done to get our troops, our troop member, back home.
I think you're placing a lot of emphasis on the word hopefully. Hopefully they'll be able to do this. Hopefully we'll be able to keep track of them. Does anyone really have any confidence that we'll be able to do that?
Well, they can keep track of you and me, so I think they can keep track of these guys.
Well, we don't have details. Ambassador Rice talking about this today wouldn't spell those out. She said, you know, we have things in place that we think we're confident it's going to work. So we'll wait and see, because we've been able to track a number of the detainees who have returned to the battlefield. So we'll see. Time will tell. In the meantime, let's talk about our other big international story that's getting a lot of attention. Mariam Abraham, Sudanese. She's married to a U.S. citizen. She's a doctor, and she was sentenced to death. Was pregnant in jail with her younger child, just gave birth to a baby girl a few days ago. And there's been a lot of international outrage. So now we're hearing reports, not confirmed, but reports through the BBC that she may be released. She may not have to serve out the sentence. She may not indeed be executed for her faith. In the meantime, Kurt, what more should the U.S. be doing on this front?
Well, I think that right now, in the 21st century, in 2014, the fact that any woman could be prosecuted and charged with the idea that marrying someone out of their faith is a crime punishable by death or 100 lashes is absurd. This isn't an episode of Game of Thrones. This is happening right now in our society today. And if we're going to have any moral imperative of any kind, we have to knock this stuff off.
Ellen?
Well, first of all, our government, there have been a lot of complaints to our government. Our government shouldn't do anything, really, because it just inflames things. There have been Christian groups and people of faith talking to people of faith there. It is actually against the law to do what they did to her. And the top people in Sudan are aware of it. I have a project in South Sudan, so I know that area of the world pretty well. And so the thing that's really worked is these groups talking to each other behind the scenes. Yes, there's signatures, but if our government gets involved, things get a little crazy. So it's best that these groups that are freeing her continue to do their work.
In the meantime, our State Department has a key position called the Ambassador at Large for International Freedom that has been empty for months. The President has publicly stated that he intends to get someone nominated soon. He said that last in February. We've repeatedly pushed the White House and the State Department on that because it is a key voice in this kind of conversation. And the U.S. does have a unique position in the world when it comes to talking about freedom in these kinds of cases. Kurt, we're told, again, it's coming. The nomination's coming.
What are they waiting for? I mean, how many more cases have to happen before they realize that it is to the benefit of not just our country, but to the world to have that type of voice represented in the international community when stuff like this happens? And the reality is this happens a lot. This isn't just an isolated incident, and it will continue to happen. Women will continue to be abused and held against their will and held to a completely different, arcane, Byzantine standard. And unless the United States and other countries, not just the U.S. alone, but other countries, begin to step up and actually hold people accountable and send a loud and clear message that all of us here realize this is ridiculous that any woman anywhere would be treated like this.
Ellen, quick final word.
Well, actually, we agree with that. I'm not so sure that having a person at the State Department is going to make that vast a difference on this particular issue or issues similar.
All right, but detected a little note of agreement in there. We'll leave it at that. Great to see you both. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.